Welcome back. Let's jump right into our Think About It questions. What does multiplication mean to you? Like we talked about in the last video, multiplication really means to me that I'm repeatedly adding together sets that have the same amount of things in them, objects, number, whatever the number is. It has the same amount of things in it. So, when in life do you use multiplication like repeated addition? All the time. Anytime I use multiplication, it's like repeated addition. But anytime I really think about it like repeated addition would probably be, for example, when I'm printing off a paper. If I'm printing off multiple copies, let's say I'm printing off 3 copies, and I know the paper has 4 pages. So 3 sets of 4 pages each means I need 12 pages of paper. All right, so we're still working on multiplication, because as great as it is to know that multiplication is like repeated addition, that takes a really long time to solve multiplication problems like that. And so it's still really important that you know your basic facts and you know them pretty quickly. So in the next 2 lessons, we're going to go over some strategies for that, because when you think about it, a lot of math is based off of multiplication, and you need to be able to apply what you know quickly so you can get on with the rest of the problem. So today's strategies are going to be more like overall strategies that you can use in general with multiplication facts. And then the next lesson will be more on specific strategies for very specific facts. Before we begin the lesson, I would like you to pause it and go get your pencil, a piece of paper, or your work log, and 70 small objects. Go ahead and do that now. Our motto for multiplication should be always use what you know. Use the basic facts that you already know to get you to the facts that you don't know. We're going to talk about a few ways to do that today. The first way to do that is by looking at doubles. If I wrote 5 plus 5 on the board and 8 plus 8, you would know pretty quickly that 5 plus 5 is 10 and 8 plus 8 is 16 because you've practiced those a lot. That's the same thing as writing out 5 times 2. Because remember, we have 2 sets of 5s, so we have 2 5s, and then 2 times 8, 2 sets of 8. Remember, we have 2 8s. So they're going to equal the same thing. So any of your 2 multiplication facts, any multiplication fact that you multiply by 2, you can know really quickly. You can just know that you double the number, and that's it, because you have one set of the number and then another set of the numbers. So you have one set of 8 and then another set of 8. You have one set of 5 and then you have another set of 5. So you can just do 5 plus 5, 8 plus 8. I'd like you to pause the video and solve these 3 problems as quickly as you can. Our next strategy is known as doubles plus 1. So if I give you the problem 7 times 3, there isn't a 2 in it. But because it's a 3, it's really close to a 2. So if I say 7 times 2, you know the answer is 14 because it's 2 sets of 7. So you knew that quickly. Now, we went from 2 sets of 7 to 3 sets of 7. So all we have to do is add another set of 7 to 14. And I'll know that that equals 21. So 7 times 3 equals 21. Let me demonstrate that for you, what that looks like. Here, I've drawn 7 sets of 2, okay? So this is the representation of this problem. All I have to do to get to 7 sets of 3 is add 1 basketball to each group. So I've added 3 so far. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I just added 7 basketballs to the already 14 that I had. 14 plus 7 gets us to 21. If I counted all these basketballs, I would get to 21. It's also possible to apply doubles plus 1 to any of the facts you know. So instead of saying doubles plus 1, let's say what you know plus 1. So you take a math fact that you know, and then you add 1 more set to it, or 1 more to each set, whichever way you prefer. So let's look at 8 times 6. And we'll do this one together. What's a math fact that you know that's really close to that one. Go ahead and pause your video and think about that for a minute. My mind jumped to 8 times 5. So I have 8 sets of 5 gets me to 40. But I need 8 sets of 6. So how am I going to graphically represent that? I want you to draw on your paper and use your objects to represent 8 times 5 equals 40. Go ahead and do that now. I did that here with slices of pizza. So I have 8 sets with 5 slices of pizza each. That represents this problem, but we need to get to 8 times 6. So I need 6 pieces of pizza in each set. To get there, I'm going to add 1 piece to each set. And if I have 8 sets, how many pieces of pizza am I adding? 8. So I'm going to take the 40 that I have over here and add 8 to it to get me to 48. 8 times 6 equals 48. I'd like you to try this one on your own. 7 times 8. You don't have to draw it out if you don't need to, but it can always help you to understand what you're doing. And here's my graphic representation. I decided to go to 7 times 7 because I'm pretty comfortable with my doubles. So 7 times 7 equals 49. I have 7 sets of 7. I need 7 sets of 8. So I'm going to add 1 to each set, which means I'm adding a total of 7. 49 plus 7 gets me to 56. You could have chosen other basic facts that you know. As long as you got to 56, that's fantastic. Now, the last strategy we're going to go over today is called double the facts you know. So instead of taking what you know and adding 1, it's taking what you know and then doubling it to get to the basic fact that you want. So if I have 6 times 3 and I don't know the answer to that, I can say, all right, well, half of 6 is 3. So if I say instead of 6 sets of 3, I have 3 sets of 3, I know that the answer is 9. I can confidently say that. And then if I just double that answer to get to 18, that gives me the answer to 6 times 3. Let me show you how it works. I started with 3 sets of 3, right? I have to get to 6 sets of 3. So if I double this answer, if I double this, I'll have 3 more sets. And there's going to be still 3 birds in each because each of the 6 sets has 3. And if I count them up, I have 18 because I had 9 here, and then I doubled it because I added 3 more sets. And now I have 18. Let's try this one together. If I said 4 times 9, what is a basic fact that you know that you can double to get to this? Pause the video and think about that now. I said 2 times 9 equals 18. I know that because that's a double. That's simple. Now if I double this answer, because I went from 2 sets of 9 to 4 sets of 9, I'm going to get 36. And here we have 2 sets of 9. So this is the graphic representation of this. And then I double it to get to 4 sets of 9. So I have 18 here, and I have 18 here. So I doubled this 18 to get to 36. I'd like you to try this one on your own now. 6 times 7. Think about what basic fact you know that is you can double to get to that. I used 3 times 7 equals 21 because that's what I'm familiar with. And then I doubled it and I got 42 because I had 21, and then I added 3 more sets because I had 3 sets and I needed 6 sets. So I doubled my number of sets with the same number in each set, and that got me 42. I'm going to give you 3 problems now on the next slide, and I would like you to pause the video and solve them using any of these strategies. So you can use simply doubles, you can use double plus 1, what you know plus 1, or doubling, which all sound really similar, but use the ones from this lesson that work the best for you, and if you need to rewind a bit to review one of the strategies, you should definitely do that. Here are the 3 problems. Go ahead and work on those now. You may not have used the same strategies that I used, and that's fine. As long as you got the same answers, it's great. So for 3 times 9, I did doubles plus 1. So 2 times 9 equals 18, and I need one more set of 9, and that gets me to 27. 2 times 4, I simply did doubles. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 9 times 7 is a little bit trickier. I decided to combine 2 of the strategies because the only basic fact that I could think of around it was 9 times 6, and I wasn't super familiar with that one. So I decided to do doubles, or doubling. So I decided to do 9 times 3, and I got 27, and that I doubled for 9 times 6, and I got 54, but I'm still not there yet. I need to plus 1. So I did doubling, and then I did plus 1. So plus 1, I'm going to add another set of 7, and that gets me to 63. So you can combine these in whatever way you need to get to the answer. So that sums up the overall strategies, and the next time, like I said, we'll work on more specific basic fact strategies. In the meantime, I'd like you to think about these 2 questions. How will you decide which strategy to use, doubles, double plus 1, etc., when you are solving a basic multiplication fact? And why do you think it's important to solve multiplication facts quickly? All right, so think about those between now and the next lesson. See you later.